weevils floating in vials of heparin, morphine cartridges that contain up to twice the labeled dose, manufacturing plants with rusty tools, mold in production areas and, in one memorable case, the barrel of urine. These recent quality lapses at big drug companies show that contamination and shoddy practices extend well beyond the loosely regulated compounding pharmacies that have attracted attention because of their link to an outbreak of meningitis. In the last 3 years, 6 of the major manufacturers of sterile injectable drugs, which are subject to rigorous inspection by the Thank You for Trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Federal government, as opposed to compounding pharmacies, which are generally overseen by the states, have been warned by the Food and Drug Administration about serious violations of manufacturing rules. 4 of them have closed factories or significantly slowed production to fix the problems. Nearly a third of the industry's manufacturing capacity is offline because of quality issues, according to a congressional report. The shutdowns have contributed to a shortage of critical drugs, and compounding pharmacies have stepped into the gap as medical professionals scramble for alternative sources. But several serious health scares have been traced. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. To compounding pharmacies in recent years. Authorities said 19 people had died from meningitis in an outbreak traced to a contaminated steroid made by the New England Compounding Center in Massachusetts. Supplies of the steroid, methylprednisolone acetate, became short earlier this year after 2 generic manufacturers, Tavia and Sandoz, stopped making it. In the industry, everyone knows that all of the factories are in terrible shape, said Erin Fox, manager of the Drug Information Service at the University of Utah, which tracks drug shortages. But the public, she said, is still in the dark. I think people thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Think this is a foreign outsourcing problem, but these factories are in our own country. Regulators and manufacturers know that most sterile injectable drugs, products like chemotherapy drugs and anti-seizure drugs like diazepam, sold in the United States are safe and high quality. Still, several industry observers and former plant employees said that the recent quality issues were troubling and that manufacturers had been reluctant to fix problems because stopping production was simply too costly in a business where profits were driven by volume. Many basic drugs sell for less than $1. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Vials and are made in batches of tens of thousands of vials, run on lines that can operate up to 24 hours at a time. Manufacturers reject descriptions of their factories as deteriorating and say they are investing hundreds of millions of dollars to make improvements. When you read and or hear different people in the industry saying that these are old, dilapidated, run-down facilities, absolutely not true, said David Gave, the senior vice president for the Generic Pharmaceutical Association, an industry trade group. Mr. Gave was previously vice president and general manager. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. For Bedford Laboratories, the unit of the manufacturer Ben Venue. He likened some of the older 1970s era plants to vintage Camaros or Mustangs, noting that while some old cars are indeed falling apart, others are tended with pride. That's what these facilities are, Mr. Gave said. They're maintained muscle cars. The manufacturing process garnered more attention in 2009. When Dr. Margaret Hamburg took over as commissioner of the FDA and pledged to get tougher on plant inspections. That year, the FDA cited Teva, the large generic drug maker, for several violations at its injectable. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Drug plant in Irvine, California, including that it had failed to catch bacterial contamination of propofol, the anesthesia drug, before it left the factory. Hospira, the leading manufacturer of injectable drugs, has been a major target of quality complaints. Since 2009, federal regulators have outlined failures in quality control at its plants in North Carolina, California and Costa Rica, leading to several major recalls of products as diverse as faulty infusion pumps and overfilled morphine vials. The company has slowed production at its largest factory in Rocky Mount, Tennessee, which had the most extensive problems. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Hospira's manufacturing issues became public months after the company began in 2009 the two-year initiative called Project Fuel, designed to save more than $100 million a year by, for example, shrinking the workforce 10%. Critics, including a group of shareholders who have filed a lawsuit against Hospira, claim that Project Fuel led to deep cuts in quality control, including the dismissal of seasoned employees and the failure to maintain equipment. In comments to investors last year, a Hospira executive acknowledged the company had gotten a little lazy and was skating behind the puck. "Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased." Stacy Eisen, a Hospira spokeswoman, said the company supported the F.D.A.'s recent focus on manufacturing quality. "We support the agency in this respect, as we, too, consider the quality of our products to be of paramount importance, and we're working closely with the agency on all aspects of our quality efforts," Ms. Eisen said. She said Project Fuel was not about cost-cutting but about reducing complexity across the company and improving productivity. Late last year, Benvenue, a division of the German drug maker Boehringer Ingelheim, shut its plant in Bedford, Ohio, after the FDA "Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased." Visited the facility. Agency inspectors reported rusty tools, mold and a barrel of an unknown liquid later determined to be urine. The report did not make it clear what the barrel was doing there. 3 other companies that make injectable drugs, Sandoz, Leupold Pharmaceuticals and APP Pharmaceuticals, have also received warning letters. Earlier this year, Sandoz slowed production at a plant in Quebec to fix problems identified by the agency. All the companies said they took quality seriously and were either working with the agency to address its concerns or had already resolved the issues.